we got to start out by saying congrats to the champs. The Dodgers are World Series champions, and LA has been celebrating since Wednesday, you guys. There are over 225,000 fans downtown LA yesterday for the parade. They didn't get one in 2020, so this was like double for one. Fans have been going literally crazy. Did you hear all the fireworks Wednesday night going
Honestly,
off?
no. Like I was surprised because I saw our friend Joy Taylor. She lives in a high rise, and so she posted a video of like you could see all of them.
We could hear it.
I didn't hear any.
We could hear all
I
of
didn't.
it.
I didn't hear any in the South
That
Bay.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Also, like, all the haters can kind of take a seat now and enjoy the show because the Dodgers might be the next dynasty in baseball. We're going to break that down in just a moment. We've had some epic college football matchups today. You just heard it. Ohio State went to Penn State this morning and beat them.
So disappointed.
20-13.
A day game. That was so silly.
No, that should have been like the
whiteouts
game.
are not whiteouts
game.
in Happy Valley are just not like the same if they're not at night.
No. I have to say, though, one of my other favorite college campuses to, like, I used to do the show Tailgate 48 on Big Ten Network. Like, their student section will camp out for a full day to get in and get their spot over at Penn State.
It is
insanity.
It's awesome.
It's so fun. It's such a vibe. Crazy. We are broadcasting live from the TireRack.com studios. TireRack.com will help you get there. An unmatched selection, fast free shipping, free road hazard protection, and over 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
And football fans, be sure to tune in to Fox Sports Radio every Sunday morning beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific for Countdown to Kickoff, presented by BetMGM. Brian Noe, Jeff Schwartz, and professional bettor Bill Krackomberger will have you covered 3 hours before kickoff every Sunday morning. Listen to Countdown to Kickoff, presented by BetMGM, right here on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app.
All right, guys, we got a great show for you today. We're going to have Nikki Kay joining us in 30, who covered the whole World Series. Then Rachel Hotmeyer, sports anchor and reporter for CBS Detroit, in hour 2 to preview the game of the week. Lions at Packers. That's going to be a good one. We got
excited.
Producer Bo with us today, technical producer Chris Perfett, Martin Weiss at the news desk, who will keep you updated on all the college football action as it goes down. But as I said, we're going to start with the champs, you guys, because the Dodgers are World Series champs. And I don't want to say I told you so, but, like, I do. I called this back in March. Yes. Let's go. I said the Dodgers over the Yankees in the World Series in March, in May, in June, once the postseason started in October. And just, you know what? Congratulations, LA. Because there was a lot of, like, smack for the 2020 World Series win. Like, wasn't a full one, wasn't a real one. Everyone was playing. Everybody had to compete. Like,
I heard Jonas say it before. I'm with him. I did not understand people saying, like, that's silly.
It wasn't LA fans. It was LA being like, yeah, we won. They're like, wasn't a real one because it wasn't like a full season.
I mean, as someone who was the beneficiary of a championship in COVID,
that
was a very real thing. And honestly,
Lakers and Dodgers, both 2020, and both got a lot of smack for it.
I was on the Buccaneers team.
Yeah.
I mean, not on the actual team, but I worked for them.
Yeah.
Got a ring.
It counts.
Honestly, it was the amount of, like, adversity that teams had to fight through that
I think it was even harder.
I do too. I mean, I get
harder.
that the baseball season was shortened, so there's that
also,
to contend with, but
no fans?
No, regardless,
that's insane.
Like, not even the no fans thing, but, like, if you were part of a team and in those facilities during that time, I had to wear a tracker. We couldn't go within 6 feet of each other.
Oh, we
had to be
leave.
like guys had meeting rooms outside, and, like, there were so many different things about travel and the hoops that these teams had to jump through. Like, I think it was absolutely harder.
The no fan things was also, like, the gnarliest thing ever. Sitting there, it looks like you're watching practice.
It was eerie,
to, like, a weird
being
game.
in those stadiums, because I did get to go to some of those stadiums then where it was just empty, and you were just so like, it's crazy.
But this is real. Congrats to the champs. 2 World Series wins in 5 years, and LA's been raging this week. I just gotta tell you, the LA parade was wild downtown LA yesterday. Estimated 225,000 fans. It was a sea of blue.
I'm not trying to hate here, but guys, show up a little bit more for your team. 225,000 fans is nothing.
What?
Cubs had 5 million in 2016.
All right.
We had
we're bringing the sass. Oh, everyone's giving me eyebrows right now.
Like
Martin?
225,000 fans does not register for me. I'm sorry, guys. Show up for your team more.
I mean, I don't know if you can fit that in the streets of downtown LA. They were on top of
because you can fit 5 million in the streets of downtown Chicago, which is objectively smaller.
Someone came with fighting feelings today.
Listen, I worked for the Dodgers. I'm very happy. There are people that I still know over there. Congratulations. I'm saying to LA fans, show up.
They did. I mean, they
show up more.
They did.
I was at the Cleveland Cavaliers parade. Now, granted, I think the thing is between that and the Cubs, you're talking once in a lifetime.
Yeah, that was like
forever.
the first time
I
ever.
I can
like
go back on that though.
Lifetime.
I was at all of the Blackhawks parades too, and every single one had at least 1 million people at it.
I think, but again, I don't know where there is we're talking old like New York, Chicago. You've got centralized areas for a lot of the stuff where people can congregate.
Yeah,
this seemed to cross a lot of LA.
It was in two different spots. You couldn't be at both. No, it's not. But we're going to talk about once they got to Dodger Stadium, because there was a moment I think that tugged at the heartstrings a bit, and it was Teoscar Hernandez. His moment on stage where he stood there holding the mic, kind of taking it all in as a crowd is chanting "Sign Teo." He took a risk and a chance on himself to sign a 1-year deal with the Dodgers because he felt like it was the best place to win a championship. Obviously, same reason Ohtani came here. But at the beginning of the season, I was saying this is the most underrated signing that no one's talking about.
Oh yeah,
he brought so much heart, so much power. I mean. He also was a home run derby winner, the first Dodger to ever win it. He was the one who really kind of opened up Ohtani personality-wise, social media-wise. He's got to stay. Dodgers need to keep Teo, his personality, just everything. But let's go just a moment, because we haven't gotten to talk about it yet. The way that the Dodgers won the World Series was absolutely incredible. Overcoming a 5-run deficit against one of the best pitchers in the league. Garrett Cole's a reigning Cy Young winner, and taking full advantage of the meltdown.
Defensive errors were just incredible by the New York Yankees.
That was an insane meltdown.
It also came after you felt like the Yankees had finally found their stride in this series.
Yeah, we're hitting. Sleeping Judge woke up. We might be going to 6 or 7 now.
This was the most productive we had seen the Yankees be all series, which was insane given the hitting power that they had all during the regular season, all in the postseason leading up to this point.
Dude.
And then all of a sudden their bats were completely quiet until the last couple of games, and then you saw them get out to that 5-0 lead. I literally looked down from my phone. I had to go do something real fast. And I came back, and it was tied. And I was like, oh, no. What just happened?
It was a complete meltdown. That started with Aaron Judge missing a routine fly-out catch in center field. It was just so weird. Then Anthony Volpe bouncing the throw to third base, a miscommunication at first with no one covering it. That would have been the third out, and no runs scored. So you had these, 3 errors that ended up leading to 5 earned runs. Now the Yankees may have had the meltdown, but the Dodgers took advantage of that opportunity, and that takes a lot of effort, and that's a real testament to how their season has gone, because they have found ways to keep winning even when they were down with injuries. They used 40 different pitchers during the regular season. Only 2 of the 40 pitched more than 100 innings, and neither of them were on the postseason roster. Tyler Glasnow and Gavin Stone. Even their World Series MVP, Freddie Freeman, was playing on one good leg. And Freddie alone beat the Yankees. He made so much history. The first ever walk-off grand slam in Game 1, 6 straight World Series games with a home run, most ever, 12 RBIs tied for the record for most in a World Series that was set in 1960 by Yankees Bobby Richardson.
If it hadn't been for Freddie Freeman, this bullpen would have been way more of a story. This Dodgers bullpen would have been way more of a story.
That's what it was. Yeah. No, it was Freddie Freeman and the Dodgers bullpen.
And I'm like, can you give an MVP to a bullpen?
They were the unsung hero. And they talked about that yesterday at the speeches at the parade as well. But just for Freddie, to have it be Freddie.
Yeah,
after everything he went through this season, the illness of his son, the injuries he battled through, and to be the hero with his son there cheering for him in the crowd and on the field with him was just such a joyful, tearful ending that we all needed. It was so beautiful. And I'm so happy for the Dodgers, for LA. Ohtani, first season, going to the World Series. I said that too. Everyone told me I was crazy. I was like, no, he's like, they're going to win. You got Ohtani now. There's that like effect. We talked about it last week, like the Shohei Ohtani effect, similar to like the Tom Brady effect. When you have the greatest
And
of
honestly,
a whole time come in, like
the,
everybody levels up to their.
like the Tom Brady example too. I mean, Tom was not the reason they won that Super Bowl.
No.
And Shohei wasn't the reason that they won that series, which is kind of ironic.
But they will you to get there.
Oh no,
and
for
they
sure.
are a
All of
huge
the work-
reason that you get
all
to
of the
that
work
point.
they put in during the season, you can't like even you can't
And
put
they
a
set an
value on that. You
example,
can't, yeah.
like the work ethic, like just like the want and need to be the best. So this is the next question then: are the Dodgers the next dynasty? And I think they very easily can be. They currently have won 2 World Series in 5 years. They need to win another one, and it needs to be with
It needs to be next
group.
year.
It needs to be in the next couple of years.
No,
Yeah, I would say next 2 years.
Dynasty for me does not start until you win back to back.
Okay, so mine is you have to have 3 titles to be considered a dynasty. You're a back-to-back. I am like,
It
because I
starts
did
at a
it.
back-to-back, and then from there it has to be like 3 in 5 years or 3 in 4 years. Like, to me, like
3 in 6 years if they get it. Like 2020, you still have a lot of the guys on that team. Like, it is the beginning. If you have 3 titles in like
I mean, the Blackhawks
a short
did it
amount of
3 in
span.
6 years, and I mean, it was close to a dynasty, but I don't even know that I would go so far as to say that it was.
Okay, so I'm big on this. Is interesting. This is always a really hot like debate topic. Like a dynasty for me, 3 championships. So like Chiefs were not considered a dynasty until they won that 3rd with Mahomes. And that is the dynasty once you have that 3rd. Your dynasty is you need back-to-backs.
I need it to start
but just
with
2.
back-to-back.
2 is the only one that counts.
No. It has to. You have to have more after that.
Yeah.
I don't start the dynasty conversation until a team goes back to back. Because like if you think about the dynasties of the past, right?
Yeah.
You think about the Patriots. You think
Yes.
about
Even the Giants.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
We
You
got
think
the
about
Giants
the Dallas Cowboys
The
back in the day.
Lakers.
The Miami Dolphins back in the day. Like,
yeah, the Kobe Shaq Lakers.
Right, the Kobe Shaq Lakers.
Yeah.
Like they all had a back-to-back championship in those.
I don't
in
think it
those
needs to be. I
years.
don't think it needs to be back to back, but
And
it does need to be 3 in a short amount of time
I think-
to be considered a dynasty.
But I think the bigger narrative here is that they've overcome the postseason choke artist label that they had.
Oh yeah,
Like, I think that's where we start this conversation. I don't think you need to jump necessarily to dynasty, but you need
No.
to say, oh, they're not choke artists.
but
in
I think
postseason.
it's important because baseball needs this. Baseball hasn't had like the Astros were the last like great team that was like almost a dynasty, but they had the cheating scandal in there. Nobody liked them. No one wanted to cheer for them. No one really wanted to tune in unless you were an Astros fan. This is good. Really good for baseball. I mean, even just the 2024, like the viewership, the World Series against the NBA Finals. World Series had 15.8 million viewers. NBA Finals, 11.3 million viewers. Like, baseball is having a resurgence and a moment, and it helps when you have a big brand that is turning into with the potential to be a dynasty. And they're only going to get better next year. Ohtani's going to be back on the mound pitching. Their pitching staff is going to be back healthy. They're rumored to possibly be in the Juan Soto sweepstakes, which is the biggest free
That would be
agent
so
this
funny.
offseason.
Like, he was such a hero for the Yankees. And
Which is insane. If the
postseason.
Yankees don't re-sign him, like, there's no way. I don't think they're getting back to the World Series anyway, and they didn't pick up the player option for Rizzo. Like, the Yankees are not the Yankees of the old. The Dodgers are how the Yankees
It's so interesting
used
to me,
be.
too, because I feel like if any sport lends itself to having dynasties in this day and age, it has to be
It has
baseball.
to be baseball.
Because you can spend as much as you possibly want to. Like,
Yeah.
no other of like the major sports have the flexible cap that like
Exactly.
MLB does.
It's insane.
So like how there isn't already dynasties is kind of interesting to me, because I'm like, you can spend as long as your
Yeah.
ownership is on board, you can spend as much as you want as long as you're willing to pay that tax.
The hardest part is not like really baseball is an individual sport played in a team atmosphere. So opposed to different sports where if you have a great team chemistry together, like you guys can come
Which makes
together
it harder.
to will. I think it makes it almost easier because it's so dependent on like a single pitcher or like a player getting hot at the plate. Like it's just
Yeah, but like if you only really have to deal with like one person getting hot and staying hot, how is that not the case with, like, we're going to see with, like, someone like Shohei Ohtani is a perfect example of someone who could be a dynasty maker. Whereas, like, in football, you have 11 guys. It's a team sport. There's really not, I mean, you can argue that a quarterback obviously is the most important position on the field, but it's not as if a good quarterback is the end all be all. You still need a good defense. You still need receivers for him to throw to. And to keep that core together under a hard cap is so much harder to me than getting one good
But
dude.
look at what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are doing. Like, literally, as long as the two of them are together, he didn't even have top-tier receivers, and he won a Super Bowl.
But think about what that defense... No. There's the defensive element here that people do not talk about enough in Steve Spagnuolo and staying in Kansas City and having the talent on that side of the ball. The only reasons the Kansas City Chiefs were able to do that last year and win the Super Bowl was, yes, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. It was Chris Jones and Steve Spagnuolo too on the other side of the ball, keeping the Chiefs in games so they didn't have to go off offensively necessarily to win. Like, that is the ultimate, again, team sport, and then they're operating under a hard cap. Like, where baseball, one player can make that difference, and there is no limit on how much you can spend on that player.
Yeah, which is crazy because I saw a lot of haters complaining like, it's two of the biggest payrolls in the World Series. I hate to break it to you. Like, last year was too. The Texas Rangers team, you're playing a game and getting paid millions of dollars. So a team that invests in the best should get the best results. Don't be mad at the team that's willing to pay. Be mad at your team and your owner that's not willing to pay and go out there and get your team to a World Series, because that's what it takes. Invest in your team and you're going to get a good product. Kind of like anything in life. If you invest in whatever you're doing, you should be getting a better product. But it's just, that was great. That was like chef's kiss. Love it. Congratulations, Dodger fans. That was beautiful. Yeah.